What you guys are going to start doing now, going to real estate. Hello. So this is where the potential is between this space and the other space. Something pretty exciting that can be done in here, and we'll show that through on the floor plan. You guys are supporting us.
Yeah, you know what it is.
That's where all your commission fees go into. One tip of the trade, every time you go into bedrooms, turn off the lights. You'll notice that every open we walk into, the lights are in full blast, the AC is on full blast, and you can obviously tell why they're different. Lights off, dark, overshadow, forecast. On, suddenly just brightens up the space. So what we're doing here is a bit of a case study, on-the-ground study, due diligence to validate why we're doing certain things, to understand demographic demand, to understand who and how is bidding at auctions, the proportion of owner-occupiers, the proportion of investors, the proportion of BA-led investors or owner-occupiers. All of this basically starts informing market activity, market momentum, foot traffic through the door, and to be honest, most of the time, when we're very much focusing in pockets, you tend to see the same type of people coming through. You start knowing where people's maximum point is at. So it's really just arming us with all the bullets in the gun, ready to fire on auction day. And that's why it's super important. I'm Melbourne based. Together, myself and the team will literally scout properties on the ground to understand the micro granular details of what's happening, solidify an offer that is strong and powerful in the current market. Yeah, so the whole intent on paper was ultimately to box this back space off. But obviously we can quickly see that once we're boxing this space, there's suddenly no space for this large existing living room with large families. So we've had to reshift, go back to the drawing board, understand space, understand function, and really now focus at the front part of the house, looking at how we can shift a couple of things between that study and that second living space. To still give a second living space, but to look at transforming that space in a little bit of a different way. So that's part of the due diligence that we go through, to really look at manufacturing equity, bringing design into the floor plan. So again, what we're looking at for is natural light. But unfortunately, personally, who would want that small window in the bedroom, right? So these are the small factors, small nuances that we'll look before we can actually go hand on heart, say yes, this is where the design in the floor plan is ultimately going to land. Can you do this later? Please? You're going to miss out. Hurry up. Hurry up, you're going to miss out. Just land the drone back in. Just hurry up.
No, look at the wind, it's freaking out.
Just drop it down. Come on, hurry up. You're going to miss out. There's so much better stuff inside.
Okay.
So, Alicia's already had 2 of these, right?
Really?
Yeah, look, she's going for the second one. The second one.
What mind if I do?
I thought you'd be a sucker for it. So a couple of things we look at for first thing, going into the bathroom, I run water to make sure that hot water is working and how fast and how soon you can get hot water. And fast, that's still warm. The other thing too I look at for is once you've run the water, basically just track down and see if you can feel any leaks, any water damage, any signs of water stains. The other thing that we're looking at too is generally size of shower. Particularly what I like about this one, you can quickly see how it falls back straight into the drain at the moment, which is fantastic to see. So that means water coming from the shower point is automatically just going to fall back into here, which is great. The other key thing in terms of function is you don't want your door handle to be banging straight into your glass shower screen. So we're looking at how far the doorstop is, or if there is a doorstop in this instance. Particularly what I quite like about this one is the doorstop stops the door seam, and it gives you still a fair bit of space for in the event that you're just banging the door or you've had a couple of disputes, your kids are coming in and whacking doors, it is still ultimately protecting and giving you that buffer to not smashing. So that's what we do, and that's why it's so important to come out to visit the property, to do the due diligence and understand what's working, what's not working, and how it performs. From an owner-occupier perspective, looking at how bathroom works, this isn't a location, to be honest. Stayed in the shower, you need a towel, you're out here. Doesn't work, I can't. So I've got to pan out, drip water all the way down here and get access to this. So it's just small details that affects day-to-day living. Particularly the other thing too that's quite nice to know, location of how you put your heat lamps on. Again, where is the light switch? Which is outside. It's a very odd one. You can easily just switch off lights if you wanted to prank people. Small details that I guess you don't really notice, but I pay quite attention. If we were adding an additional bedroom in this spot, the ideal location would be here. We're maximising one window, maximising one opening, right? We're closing it off. Bed head would most likely sit here. You're then able to, on that end, bring in your robes. However, in this spot, what the added challenge then becomes is you've got two openings across in this site, where ideally your bed head would sit here, and you're then having to struggle for robe space. So again, it comes down to function, how you're using the bedroom, how you're placing your beds to maximise natural light, to maximise the space, and really to make use of the existing exhaust. So hence why within this large space, we're then ultimately prioritising this spot versus the other spot. Beautiful fruit trees. But again, very nice house, very well kept lawns. As you can see, lemons, mandarins. Auction's about to start. We're out here today just to understand dynamic, understand who's bidding, how they're bidding, and getting ready to fire up in this particular pocket for a client of ours. Cold, it's windy, at least it's blue skies here at the moment, so the perks of a donut has definitely warmed up and activated the fat cells, so let's go. So often what we particularly like doing is counting how many ropes are out at opens, how many open bids are happening, how many bidders are transacting on once the auction has started. It's all basically allowing us to understand current market momentum and activity on the ground.
Now ladies and gentlemen, what you see is what you get. All your first class fixtures and fittings will pass with the property. Naturally speaking, all your window furnishings. Buyers, of course, you've been through a home once, twice, even 3 or 4 times. And buyers, every time a home comes to the market, it gets snapped up instantly, or it draws a great crowd like we have here today, of course. I remember selling the property to...
One of the important things that we do look out for, that Google Maps, any desktop research is not going to tell you, is noise levels, right? We do have certain platforms that can give us a bit of an indication of noise by the heat maps, but unfortunately there's nothing that the ear can so far virtually pick up. So right now there is a racetrack nearby and a lot of heavy engines, car engines revving up at the moment. So again, we're quite lucky that it's quite windy, which is almost softening that sound, but in the event of no wind, it exactly comes across as quite loud and intrusive within such a nice pocket at the moment.
Welcome to the 880,000 square away buyers.
We normally push them a little bit more.
25 for bid 30.
One eternity later.
Ladies and gentlemen, first, second, third, and final poll. We are selling. Third and bow time and a million and third. Say one more time, we are selling. A big round of applause. We are sold. Welcome to Hillside. Congratulations.
And we are sold. The surge continues. Let's go.